There was an idea that I heard a few years ago, which I thought fascinated me. This was the idea. The idea was, my friends, when people are setting up goals, they think about where they are, they think about the path that they must take, and then they think about the location that they want to get to, which sounds totally fine, right? Until I heard this advice that said, actually, Daniel, instead of doing that, think about where you want to get to. Forget where you are, forget the path. Think about your destination first. And the mindset here was, listen, if you pick your path, you might not be able to pick the destination. However, if you pick your destination, it doesn't necessarily matter which path you take. For example, if I pick a certain road to go on, I can't pick where I'll end up. I've chosen the road. The road has been constructed in a certain way. I have to follow that road. But if I choose a destination, it does not matter if I go on this road, on that road. It doesn't matter if I walk. It doesn't matter if I bike. What matters is that destination I know will be the same destination. I will get there. So the idea was really, reverse engineering your goals in terms of, instead of thinking, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop doing this and I'm going to eat healthier and I'm going to be fit and this and that, is that you look at the outcome, right? You look at the outcome rather than saying, hey, what am I going to do right now? You have this idea of like, you know what, Daniel, 1.5 years from now, 2 years from now, he's going to have a jacked six-pack and he's going to be this and that. He's going to have this sort of a job. And then when you plant that sort of a destination, the method comes together. When the destination is set, you're going to find a route. You're going to find a transit. The transit, in my opinion, my friends, is not as important as the outcome. I'm going to have to think about that a little bit, because you could argue, they're close, but in my opinion, I would rather have my destination picked out than necessarily the way to that destination. Because this way, my friends, the goal is, if the goal is happiness, right? If the goal is, what do I want to do for the rest of my life? When you start thinking like, okay, you know what? I sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, what I want to do is, I want to be a musician, right? And if that is the goal, if that is the outcome goal, then you can trace it backwards and go, okay, well, what does one do to become a musician on a stage? Well, granted, people have to know me. Okay, I have to have connections. How can I have connections? I have to play out at a lot of places. What I have to do to play out in a lot of places? Well, first of all, I got to be able to play songs. Okay, in order to make songs, I got to be able to play an instrument. Do I sing? Do I rap? Okay, if I sing, if I rap, how do I know how to do that stuff? Do I have to take music lessons? Are we talking are we talking like Udemy or like classes online? Right? And you start retracing your steps, because now you have the outcome right in front of you. You know where you're aiming, right? You know exactly where to shoot for. And with that, you have a clear mind of going, you know what? Even though it doesn't matter if I pick option A, B, C, D, or E, they're all eventually going to lead to the final outcome. Sure, one of them might be shorter, one of them might be longer. And yeah, you want to pick the shortest one, right? You want to get there as conveniently as possible, as effectively as possible. But we're not always going to know. I think that's one of the big, troubles that people fall in, is that they want to make the best decision, but you don't know in the moment. All you have is a gut feeling and maybe a little bit of knowledge. And in that moment, you have to make a brave decision when maybe you're short on time as well. But as long as you know what the outcome is, in my opinion, I feel like that adds so much more clarity, and that adds you being so much more stress-free, right? Because you have an idea of where you're headed, and when you know for a fact that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, I think that erases a lot of stress for you. I think that erases a lot of stress, and furthermore, I think that that really fuels you, because you know that there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. You know what I mean? Like you know that there's something there for you, regardless of which way you end up going. And that, my friends, is really it. I sincerely believe, if you are not already doing it, reverse engineer your goals. Don't think of right now. Think of the outcome. Think of yourself 1, 2, 3 years ahead. Think what that destination looks like. And then from there, play it backwards.